It's definitely in a more historic area here. We see the Rudolphs, William L. 1866 to 1938, and Mary, 1868 to 1947. And always got to be careful this time of year too, because with all of the leaves, they can sometimes cover things up, so you have to be incredibly careful where you step. Let's actually, oh, yeah, I guess this microphone is surely getting its true test today. Yeah, the Rietdorf Memorial here, and it looks like they are surrounded, it is surrounded by the individual family members here. The Elena, 1868 to 1939, and then Ernest C., 1870 to 1925, and some really weird, bizarre looking dirt marks there. I think somebody's probably tried to clean it, and that might have been one of the areas that was just really, really dirty, because it almost looks like a rotary type cleaning device was cleaning it, and that was just what was left behind. Then Elmer here, 1895 to 1908. And it looks like that's all. It kind of appears like the design would have intended more people to be over on this side, but I'm not sure that there's enough room, and something was here. It looks like it was moved recently. I don't know if something was temporarily maybe moved for restoration purposes or what it was. And also, let's look at these two real quick, and then we'll keep moving here. See, Florence M. Schendel, 1897 to 1988, and then directly below is Oscar, 1871 to 1951, which I find really interesting that they, instead of right next to each other, they decided to be buried like in sequence almost. So a very interesting design choice here. And it was even kind of hard to discern some of the roads coming in. Like, there's definitely times I wish I would have taken another road and was having to very slowly and methodically make my way around. I don't see anything. Looks like there's a massive downed tree back here somewhere. Wow. But I'm not really seeing anything hidden. Lots of section markers here. You see 215, 216. I just find it so odd because, like, I usually don't find a lot of them in a row like this. That's crazy. I don't really know why, but it just kind of is. So once again, as always, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe if you never subscribed before. We do this twice a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And again, trying to make it towards that 8 a.m. schedule. Not necessarily the best at hitting that here recently, but we're working to get there. But so far we've been pretty good about not missing any episodes for a very long time. So yeah, another interesting area here. There is some use, but mostly just this large fence here. and then on the other side of it, another fence with barbed wire. Although, unlike most cemeteries, the barbed wire is actually on the correct side this time, and it doesn't look weird and creepy like they're trying to keep somebody inside instead of keeping people out. I think the Weyer family here, John B., 1914 to 2007, and Josephine, 1908 to 1995. And then a really beautiful stone here. Definitely had more than a few hands on it recently, brushing away all of the leaves, so I'm not going to add to that, but you can kind of get an idea of what it would look like. And if you really want to look it up online, you can see the full photo and inscription there. Another interesting one, lots of little things left behind, decorations, and I don't see the actual stone itself anywhere. Wow, it really stands out against the fall colors too. Well, I guess for the moment I'm going to follow this, and then we'll turn around here, head back over the hill, and just a ton of, it's just really a bizarre area. I wonder if this is like an area where you don't necessarily have to use headstones, if you can do like unmarked burials here, because there's these sections that are just, you can clearly see that people are coming out and leaving things in these areas where there are no memorials whatsoever, not even the free ones. So it's not like they could not have gotten one unless they specifically chose to be placed in an unmarked area. Lots of these are fairly new. Looks like pretty much all of them. So we'll probably dip back out into this section here. I might go ahead and move my car around here. And again though, some more areas we can see where there's been recent plants brought in. And even an American flag here, but no sign of any memorials. And I know that it's, obviously there's a few famous cases where people have chosen to be placed in unmarked areas for different reasons. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I thought I saw, almost looks like there's something on the, I think it's just a stone, but it kind of looks a little weird. It'd be literally impossible for me to get back there though. I don't know, I gotta keep going though. There's something else coming up. Some other entryway. I don't think it's part of the cemetery, but we'll definitely go and take a look. There's some more marked stuff here. Definitely some fairly recent stuff. Let's see. Geneva here, 1928 to 2005. And an American flag next to it there. there's this little corridor. I don't think I'm gonna take it, but I do want to take a look at it. It's not actually like meant for people to be walking in, but I just found it kind of odd. And there's this big hole here. And look how creepy that looks. And there are a few stones and things back there, but not memorials, obviously. You can tell very clearly it's not anything to do with the cemetery. I would say a clear indication here that there have been some people sneak in the middle of the night and have punctured a way through the cemetery fence there. Huh. Kind of interesting, I don't know. But needless to say, it would be a very hard trek to get through all of that. So yeah, let me know what you think of all that. I mean, I don't think it's anything super complicated, just in an area where they, instead of bringing the fences up together, they left a gap there, maybe so people can get through for the electrical towers. I don't really know. There might be some ordinance stating that they can't specifically touch, so, but it's kind of interesting that people have used that exact spot to get in here and after hours. It makes me wonder maybe what they were doing here, or if they were just using it as, you know, to take shelter in. We kind of got to go up over this hill here. I wanted to take a look at a few things over here before we did, though. A World War II vet here, William Byron Chadwick, Private U.S. Army, World War II, 1905 to 1988, and I'm a little bit suspicious about, is this? It's, oh, okay, it's metal, I see. I thought it was a brand new, like, plastic one, but they actually chose to make it out of metal. I've never seen one of those either. That's a few different firsts today. Carefully get that out of the way. See the chromers here, Lewis B. 1907, excuse me, to 1963, and Esther M. 1911 to 1995. And behind it here is the Hoffer family section. A gigantic, I'm assuming, granite ball on the top of this. It makes me wonder how much that weighs. And then we have Theobald here, 1856 to 1937. And next to that, Rosa, 1875 to 1965. And the one here is a little bit covered up. Looks like Arthur, yeah. Arthur, 1910 to 1989. And even some more family over here. William F., 1887 to 1929. See, Catherine here, 1855 to 1903. And then we'll finish up these over here. Ooh, that's something I've spotted already. Herman T., 1890 to 1896. So probably a son that unfortunately passed early. And then an infant here, 1898. Yeah. If anybody wants to guess at what that weighs, let me know. Or if you have any information because you've worked in that industry, let me know. Like, what does that, something like that weigh, and what is entailed in getting this to the site? You know, there has to be some sort of like crane arm or something that would come down and set that on top, maybe even the individual pieces as well. So it must be a lot of work. I'm always on the lookout too. People always say that really old places like this where there's just tons of graves, that they every once in a while stumble upon people in period dress, meaning historical clothing, or ghost. I've heard plenty of people have these really weird experiences where it's like they'll just be able to walk straight up to somebody that just appears to be somebody else walking there, but they're wearing clothes from the wrong time period. So never had that happen to me, but I know a few people, so it's kind of weird. I'm always on the lookout for weird stuff. So far, only the few circumstances that you've seen have happened to me. And this is an interesting one. Kind of a different utilization of a base here. Looks like this is the Brooks family. We have William on the left here, 1840 to 1906, and then Mary, 1843 to 1895. And just a gigantic base stone here. And yeah, usually people put the really elaborate stones on here. Oh, down in front here we do have some, oh man, I forgot my flashlight. This one is really hard to read. I might see 1895 here. This section is bigger than what I actually thought. And now I'm thinking I need to go back and grab my flashlight. Some of these would be impossible. You can see that they are slowly sinking over time. Which again, whoever said that gravestones don't sink and then it would take at least 1,000 years. So here we have 1, 2, and 3. I say gravestones can certainly sink. Just like the rocks in my yard that every once in a while have to be propped up again because they've sunk over the years. So I don't understand the notion that gravestones never disappear. So, well, whatever. We have Ray Hauser here, Charles, 1865 to 1900 in Celia, or Celia. I'm guessing this is, yeah, it looks like that's a middle initial, 1864 to 1934. And some erosion here. It is slowly falling backwards. You can tell a little bit better from the back side here. That things are starting to wear away. And then there's some interesting, really shiny material right there. I don't know what that is. Yeah, let me know if you're able to identify that. You should be able to see my car anytime here. The little one here. It's a pearl. Can't read the last name. 1892 to 1893. It seems to be kind of all by its lonesome here. I'm sure that what's on the other side has just disappeared by now. But lots here. It's so hard to choose which way to go. Alex Kinz, is that K-I-N-Z-Z? 1819 to 1901. Might have to look that up when I get back and see what I can find out about that last name. That's really an interesting one. So hopefully, yeah, everything looks cool with the car. What is wrong with this bark? Let's see if you all can see it here. Oh, found some recent damage, it looks like. Yeah, can you tell the weird, it's like something came in and rubbed all of this thick bark away. Or it just randomly grew a lot larger in certain areas, putting off this incredibly strange pattern here. And on the backside, it seems to be all fairly uniform. You can see it's starting right there. Huh. Going forward here, there is one that has come off of its base. It looks like fairly recently, maybe in the last storms even. This is the memorial of Opal M. McKee, 1899 to 1933. Wow. That's really sad. I'm sure that they'll end up putting that back together here. They seem to have a fairly, or a qualified staff here, so I'm sure it will get taken care of at some point. See Nancy and W.M.H. Baroon, Nancy 1884 to 1919, and then I'm guessing that's probably William. I'm not 100%, but 1854 to 1945. And wow, a few different ones that have been knocked over. Again, it's kind of, I don't know, I can't really tell the type of base these had. It looks like they were almost just stuck in the ground to begin with, so it'd make it a little bit easier for these to come loose, unfortunately. The Sophia Yobist, 1859 to 1930. John, 1860 to 1903. And then next to that, we have Edith Hartwick, 1890 to 1944.